Hello, guys, and welcome back to a Macadel online training. But this time around, this is a Macadel Fashion Hub. Okay, so my name is Nita, and I'll be your physical and online instructor. And don't forget, if you're actually in Houston, Texas, we're around Kirkwood, Bisonet, Texas, and we offer trainings like physical classes, and for you to come in and learn how to make your dresses, pattern drafting, fashion illustration, and every other thing. All right. So, welcome to my channel once again, and give me a subscribe if you haven't. And if you have, thank you so much. So, let's dive right into it. Okay. So, today I'm going to be teaching on il modellismo. All right. It's an Italian way of drafting your pattern for all outfits. You can use this for your English wears. You can use this for your native wears. It could be African wears. It could be European wears. It could be anything, right? It's a way to draft a pattern that actually suits your body or your style or whatever you choose to make, all right? So I'm going to be teaching in series, right? So you better subscribe to my channel because if you know this pattern method, you can actually go check it out, right? It's an Italian pattern method, and I've worked with it for over 10 years now, right? So I'm going to be teaching you how to, you should know your body measurement. If you have this book, you can download it on Pinterest and on Google. You could also find it. It's Il Modellismo. That's it on your screen, all right? So you take your body measurement. Excuse me. So that's how it works. From your body measurement, so it tells you how to place your tape and actually take your body measurement. It's very clear, all right? And then you have your standard body measurement, okay? So once you're done with your body measurement, you come to the table. So we have a table, So, but the sizes is in European measurements, theirs is in cm. All right, so you have a size 38, size 40, size 42, size 44. But if you convert it to UK, 38 is a size 6, a 40 is a size 8, and so on and so forth. All right, and this is where you'll be able to take your body measurement and know which of the sizes you're going to be working with, because to draft the pattern, we're going to keep coming back to this table. This table is so very, very important, all right? So now you have a dartless pattern. You're going to do this for yourself once I teach you how to do the dart pattern, okay? So what we're working on today is going to be the dart pattern. Now, this is what you're going to be using to create your pattern. The good parts, why I love it is that it's all, it's very self-explanatory. So what you do is, if they tell you A to B is this, you come here to your figure, and look at it and find A to B. If they tell you D to E, make sure you place your tape on D and take a measurement down to E. I'm just taking a bit of time to explain how this book works. It's very, very easy to work with, all right? So let's get starting. Now, a lot of people keep asking me that, if they just come and pick a size to work with, they'll find out that their bust circumference, their waist circumference, and their hip circumference does not match the size. Yes, except you're a perfect figure, right? But if you're like an African lovely figure as well, you have some parts that wouldn't be the same, but it doesn't mean you cannot fit it in. So what you do, the trick to it is, now when you take your measurements, right, you come to where your waist circumference is, your hip circumference is, and your neck circumference is, right? Sorry, your hip circumference, bust, waist, and hip. Now, you check through that table of contents, and whatever fits your size is what you're going to use here. Don't use the logic of take your chest measurement round divided by 2. That is your size. Now, you can use that and this measurement will not work for you. That's what I've used for my clients and it has worked. I'm just giving you the tips to it, right? So whatever is closest to your bust, waist, and hip, use the size up here. Don't change any other thing. Everything on that size. Let's say when you check your measurement is a size 46, use everything under the size, but change only your bust. Use your actual bust. Everything under the size in the table, in the book, use that. But when it gets to your bust circumference, use your own actual bust circumference. it gets to your I think you need to see me talking, so let me just get this up so it won't look like, yeah. So when it gets to your bust circumference, use your actual bust circumference. Your waist circumference, use your actual waist circumference. And your hip circumference, use your actual hip circumference, all right? But every other thing on this table of contents, you know, you will use exactly what you have here. So I just had to take time to explain that before you start so you understand. And also what I was saying about the figure here. Now, always keep when you're drafting this Italian pattern, your book must stay open like this, right? Because whatever you're asked to do here, once you look at it and they tell you A to B is 1/24 of size, -1 plus 0.2, come here and look at what A to B is. It will guide you and it makes it very easy. I love this pattern. It's easy. It's also very explanatory. So let's dive right into it, guys. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Show me some love. I mean, you're not paying for it, right? But you're just appreciating what I'm bringing to you. I'm sharing my knowledge to you as much as I can, all right? So let's dive right into this. Okay. So I've taken a liberty to put in my margin line. I love working with margin line. Please follow what I'm saying. I know you may not see this very well, but I am praying that you do see it very well, okay? So I have taken a liberty to draw my margin line up and on the side, and I've kept a bit of space here. I love doing that. Now, at the top also, this is your top line, this is your side line. Now, at the top line, you're also going to keep about 2 to 3 inches of space, depending on what your size is, right? Now, why do you do that? You do it because your back waist length and your front waist length is not the same. It has never ever been the same, all right? So the back is always shorter and the front is longer. So you need to keep the space. So you're going to see that your pattern will have the front, if you look at it now, longer than the back, all right? There are a lot of ways to achieve this whole box to get this, but I'm just going to show you the easiest way. So please get your line here and get your line here. And so we're starting with the back, okay? So I'll label this my back, okay? And we're working with a size 40. That's what I have chosen to work with. So we're working with a size 40, all right? So now at this point that the two lines meet, we are going to call it point A, right? So that is our A, right? I am trying to make sure that you guys are saying this, but I hope. I'll keep moving the paper up and down, all right? So now it says back. If you look at it, the back, and it says begin with the top left corner of the square. This is the top left corner. Where I'm sitting is my left, right? And this is point A, which we have marked. And it says A to B. Now look at the figure and you're going to see A to B. A to B comes down, means you should come down. A to B is 1/24 size plus 0.2. So when he says 1/24 size, it just means that you should go check whatever size you're using, divided by 24. Now, I'm working with, so you actually need your calculator at this point. Okay, so I'm working with a size 40. Okay, so I'm going to do 40 divided by 24, and it says plus, don't break it, just keep going through it, 0.2. okay, so what I have is 1.8666. Now let's deal with this because I really want to take time and explain all of this to you guys. So it says 1.866. okay, now when we're working with this Italian pattern, we don't take we need just one number after a decimal point, okay? So now once the number is 6, we're going to, if it's 6, 7, 8, 9, you turn it to 1. Do you understand? The number after it, if it is 6, 7, 8, and 9, you turn it to 1. So that means what you're going to have here is going to be 8 plus 1, which is 9. So you're going to have 1.9. That's what you're going to use. Now, if we had 1.80, do you get? Now, even if you had 1.81, 2, 3, 4, all this number means 0. You don't add anything. So your answer will remain 1.8. I'm taking time to explain this. Now, even if you have 23.89, you're going to convert this 9 to 1. That means you have 8 plus 1, which is 9. So the answer here is going to be 23.9. The same thing applies on and on and on. And please don't forget that for the Italian pattern, we are working with CM. So let's continue. So what we have right now is 1.9, okay? So I'll take my tape and I'll place it from my A point. Now, don't forget, like I said, we're working with decimals this time around, okay? And I'll mark 1.9, okay? So once I mark it, I'll write there B. So that's what I've done. I've written there B, okay? So the next thing says A to B1. It says square down 4.5, square down. So all what you're meant to do is take your tape again, all right? Place it from your A point, look for 4.5 and mark it. Now, one other trick to it is wherever you see, I'll call that B1. I've written that. Now, because there's going to be a line across, I'll come here as well. That's my own way. You don't have to, do it, but that's what I do. So you can follow me, right? I'll place my tape and I'll just make a mark at the 4.5 so that when I need it, I will use it. Anywhere you see a line, right? Because all this has lines. You have the bust line, you have the waist line, you have the hip line. Now, when I'm marking for this, I'll mark for this. It just makes it easy. So once we're done with that, it says A to C, A to C. So from A, you're coming down to C, all right? So your A to C says 1/8 of height. We need to go back. Once it says that, you go back to your table of measurement, all right? And look for height, okay? So it says 1/8 times, divided by height. Now, height for a size 40 is 160, so divided by 160. And it goes further, it didn't stop there. It says plus 1/24 of size. What's our size? We're using size 40. Work with your own size. So 40 divided by 24, and it says plus 1.7. And it says plus ease allowance, right? So you can still go ahead and add your ease allowance. Why you add ease allowance most times is probably the person you took the measurement or you got a measurement does not stay where you stay. It's better you add ease. When they come in for fitting, you can, take it off, alter it, and all of that. Because, you need to have a first fitting, a second fitting, and then the final outfit. It helps you to, shape or trim off or add up or whatever to the person's body size, all right? That's the essence of ease. But if you're sure of the measurement you're working with, then you don't have to add any ease, okay? So let's now do the calculation. So we have, for a size 40, we have 160. So I have 160 divided by 8 plus size is what, 40, divided by 24 plus 1.7. So what we have is 23.36. I'm going to convert the 6 because I just have to have one number after the decimal point to 1. So I have 23.4. So I'll come here, place my tape, and find 23.4. Okay. And I'll mark 23.4. I'll mark it, okay? And I'll call that C. And I'll come here and do the same thing so that it will help me get my straight line. 23.4. And I'll mark, okay? So I've gotten C. And the next thing it says, that's the armhole depth measurement. That's what we just got, okay? So the next thing is A to D. From A to D, and it says is your back waist length. So we'll go to size 40 on the table and find our back waist length. And it says for a size 40 is 41.9. So I'll come here, place my tape again, and look for 41.9. Okay, here I'll mark it, and I'll write there D. All right, and I'll come here and look for the same thing, just so that it makes it easy for me. 41.9, and I'll mark it. All right, so the next thing it says is A to F. D to E. From your D to E, it's your hip depth. All right, so I'm going to go to my table of contents and look for my hip depth for a size 40, and I have 18.2. Remember, it says D to E. Okay, so I'll place my tape from D and mark 18.2. Okay, and that is my E. That's your hip depth. And I'll come here and do the same thing, and I'll mark 18.2. all right, so the next thing it says is A to F. That is your dress length up to the knee. I'll come back to my table of contents. So I'll look for my dress length for a size 40, and that is 97. All right, so I'll place my tape and look for 97. Okay, sorry you can't see that, but I'm marking at 97. Okay, then I'll place here, do same, and also mark at 97. So I've done that, and I'll just roll my line to complete the 97. Now what I do at this point, and you write there F, that's what I have done. So I wrote F. Now what you do at this point, I'm going to draw little lines, like short lines across to help me out. So this is my F. Don't extend the line too long until when you're ready to use it. Okay, so I'll just take a little, right? I'll come here, that's my dress length, this is my hip depth. I'll do the same thing, just a little. I'll come to my waistline, a little as well. I'll come to my bust line, and I will also extend the line, right? So we're going somewhere. Okay, so I'm sure you understand to this extent. Okay, so the next thing is it says A to G. A to G is from here this way. If you look at your so it says A to G. Now A to G says 1/6 of size is a starting point of shoulder length. 1/6 of size. Now what is size? We come back to our calculator. Okay, and size is 40 divided by 6, and we have 6.66, so that is 6.7. So this way I'm going to measure 6.7. Okay, please just follow what I'm doing, it's that easy. So I've done 6.7 at this point, and I'll write there G. Okay, so now the book says join, or you call it connect or join, whichever one, point G to B. So you take your curve with a curve. So this is your curve ruler, and I'll place it. Can you see that? So I'll place it from G to B, and I will draw my neck curve. So that is your neck curve. All right, so the next thing it says is A to H. A to H is still on this line, along this line, going away from me, and that is 1/2 of back width. All right, so that's back width divided by 2. So I'll quickly come to my table and look for what my back width is, and it is 35.4. So I'll come back here Put in my 35.4 divided by 2. And I have 17.7. So this way, I'm going to mark 17.7. Don't forget it's all in cyan. Now, what I do here as well, so I've marked my 17.7 and I've written there H. I will come down here, just follow my lead, all right? I'll just come down here immediately and do the same thing and mark the same 17.7. That is going to be my I. I'll tell you why. So, and I've marked 17.7 and I'll write here I. Okay? So let's go back. So, C to C1. This is your C, all right? Your C is your bust line, all right? And it says 1/4 of bust circumference minus 1 plus ease allowance. I'm going to add ease allowance of 1.7. So we'll quickly come to our table and look for what the bust circumference is. And for a size 40, that is 84. Okay. So that's 84. So we're going to have 84 divided by 4 minus 1 plus 1.7. That's what I'm adding as my ease, okay? So I'm having 21.7. That's what I'm going to use. So from C, okay, I'm going to measure 21.7, okay? Here. So that is going to be our C1. So I'll write it under the C1. Can you see that? So once you're done with that, we'll move on. And it says D to D1. D. All right. The waistline this time around. And it says 1/4 of waist circumference minus 1 plus 3 inches for that allowance plus ease allowance. I'll use ease allowance of 0.5 at this point. I did 1.7 for the bust. I'll do 0.5 for the waist and I'll do 0.5 for the hip. All right. So let's go check what the waist circumference is for a size 40. And we have 64. Okay. So we'll come back to our calculator. We'll take 64 divided by 4 minus 1 plus 3, right? 3 for your dart allowance. Sorry about that. Let's go back again. I just faulted. 64, taking 64 divided by 4 minus 1 plus 3 for your dart allowance plus 0.5 for our ease allowance. So we have 18.5. So where D is, I'm going to mark 18.5 for the waist. All right. So that is it. And I'll write here D1. Okay. So the next one is going to be E. All right. And E says 1/4 of hip minus 1 plus ease allowance. I'm taking 0.5 as the ease allowance as well. So I'll quickly come to the chart and I'll look for what the hip circumference is. And it is 90 inches. So we'll come back to our calculator. And we'll take 90 divided by 4 minus 1 plus a 0.5 ease allowance. Okay. What we have is 22. So I'll come to my E. And I will mark 22 cm right here. Okay. And I'll write here D1. Okay. Now we'll go back to our book. The book says E to E1, sorry, F to F1, which is the length of the dress. All right. It says it's equal to E to E1. So whatever we have here, which is 22, I'm going to come here and also mark the same 22. Okay, and I'll call that my F1. All right. So let's continue. Okay, so now let's read what the book says we should do. So it says join points C1 to D1. We'll do that first. Point C1 to D1. And E1 to F1 with a straight edge. So we start with the first one. C1 to D1. Okay, with a straight. So I'm using a straight for that. And it says this now. Okay, D1 to F1. We're almost done. All right. So it now says, let's continue. It says join points, that's connect points, D1 to E1 with the curve. This is D1, right to E1. Sorry, I made a mistake here. So D1 to E1, this time around to E1 with a curve ruler. All right. So this is your hip cup. Please don't make it too hippie. See, this is very hippie. I didn't use that. I don't want it very hippie because when you do that, it's going to start giving you excess at your hip part. All right. So I'll just place it this way. And I'll do that. Have you seen that? So I have my curve at that point and we're done with that part. All right. So let's quickly proceed. Okay. So we're done with that. And the next thing it says, this is the side seam. So this is our side seam. All right. So it now says H to I. Remember we had done I, right? It says it's perpendicular to C to C1. So that means this line is perpendicular to this one. That's just what it means. So whatever you have as A to H, have the same thing as C to I, which I said we should mark. So once you have gotten that, the next thing you have to do is to draw a straight line. Rule a straight line, okay? That's it. Okay? So the next thing it says is, excuse me, H to L, squared down 4.5. This is H. When you look at your picture, it shows you where L is and it says go down. Always look at your figure. It helps. So remember, I had marked the 4.5 already. This was the essence Y and I can still mark. So that's it, 4.5, okay? And you call that L, okay? So I'll write it on the inside, L, okay? That's it there. So the next thing it says is B1 to L1. B1, this is B1 to L1. It says half of back shoulder width. So let's go back to our table and look for back shoulder width for your size. What you're going to see there is shoulder width. Is the same thing as back shoulder width. Please don't be confused. Okay, so back shoulder width is 37.4 and it says half. So we'll pick up a calculator again. We'll put in 37.4 divided by 2 and we have 18.7. All right. So now on this from B1, I'm going to be looking for 18.7. Okay. So once I find it, I will mark a dot and I'll write there L1. All right. So that is it. And I'm going to rule a line. So I'll place my rule this way and have you seen that? Good. All right. So let's move on. So it says connect points G to L1, which I have done to create the back shoulder length. That's what we've just done. Okay. So it now says I to M, square up 5 cm. So square up 5 cm and move to the right. The right is away from me, 0.3 cm. So I'll place my tape and I'll look for 5 cm, right? And I'll mark it and I'll come out 3 cm. Okay, you just count 1, 2, 3. That's all. And I'll mark a dot. So inside here, I'm going to write there my M. All right, so that is our M. So the next thing it says is with the curve, connect points L1 to M to C1. So just take your curve like so. Try to place it. Look at the book, right? And just try to make sure that you're having the same picture on that book. That is what matters. You may not get it totally, you know, connecting it totally. You can do it one after the other, just like what I'm doing now. So I'll take from here to here, and then I will try to link this to this. Okay, so wherever you see an opening, stop there. Wherever you see another opening, start from there. Can you see that? And that is done. So we've done that. All right, so the next thing we are meant to do that we're supposed to have joined G to L1. Please check, because we had it was stated to draw a line from G to L1, so that you'll see that in your book. Okay, so you just get that done. All right, so you're meant to join to give you the shoulder, so that's it. All right, so now let's quickly move to complete this and get into that, and that's it. So it now says measure down from L1 9 cm on the armhole curve from point L1 and mark 2 notches. The notches will be the reference point for attaching the sleeve to the bodies in the sewing process. It helps a lot, you know, because in the sleeve you're also going to have the same thing. So all what you do is that from L1, place your tip and find 9, and then mark 2 notches, just like so. There's nothing much to it. All right, so we're done with that. Let's move on to our dart, and we know that we're done. Okay, so we come to D. Now it says dart. D to R, we have D, we don't know what R is, and it says D to R is half of D to D1. Okay, so if you remember what you did for your D1, or you can quickly come here and look for your waist circumference, which was 64, and we did 64 divided by 4 minus 1 plus 3 plus 0.5. So we had 18.5, right? So since you had 18.5, divide it by 2. So you have 9.25, okay? 9.25 is 9.3. So just place your tape on your D part now and look for 9.3, okay? And mark a dot. So that is your R, okay? I'll quickly come up and do the same thing, because I need a straight line, okay? And I'll mark a dot. And I'll just come somewhere down, not too far, just a bit down, because I'm going to use it, okay? And just mark the same dot, just so that I have a straight line, okay? So let's read. Now it says R to R1. Now we know where R is, and you go up to find R1. It says perpendicular to C1 minus 2 cm. All what it means is that you're going to draw a line. It's perpendicular. So that measurement we just did, draw a line up, okay, and then come down 2 cm. So I'm going to come down 2 cm here, and this is now my R1. Have you seen that? So I drew a line up, but I came down 2 cm. That is my R1. And it says R1, R to R2, R to R2, square down 14 cm. All right, so I'll just quickly come down, look for where 14 is, and just mark a dot to help me out. And I'll place my rule the same way, making sure that I have a straight line to that point. All right, so here is my R2. Okay, so it now says R, this R to R3, you're coming this way 1.5 cm, and R again to R4 1.5 cm. Okay, so I'll just place my tape in the middle, come this way 1.5 cm, and come this way 1.5 cm. Do you understand that? So this is your R3 and this is your R4. Okay, and finally it says join points R1 to R3, R2 to R4. You're just closing your dot. That's what it means. So just watch what I'm doing. So close up your dot. So I'll take this to R1. I'll take this to R1 again. And I'll take from R2 to R3. And I'll take from R2 to R4. All right. And voila, we are done. It's as easy as that, and we just dealt with the back, and the next thing we are going to be dealing with is going to be the front. Okay, so now you know that this is your shoulder point, this is your neckline at this point, this is your armhole. I'll label this when we're done with the front. Okay, you have your side seam, you have your full length, and don't forget this is your center back. your center back. All right, so it's that easy. And look at that, we are done, guys. Wow. I'm so grateful you stayed till the end, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. Like I said, I'm bringing this okay, just so you get to see my face, all right, when I'm talking. So please subscribe to my channel and follow me, right? Share my videos and help me grow, right? I'm going to bring to you as much as I know and as much as I've done over the years using the Italian pattern drafting. And also, I'll be showing you a couple of things to do with this. You can make a suit, you can make your dresses, you can make, I mean, the trousers you make with this pattern is exceptional. I mean, the fit is, wow, it's awesome. So you shouldn't miss that, because I'll be teaching all of that. I'm going to teach you how to transfer your dart, you know, using this dart pattern that you're creating at this point. That's the most interesting thing as well. All right, so, and how to make a lot of designs without a darted pattern. Some people will say, I mean, I'm too stressed up using darts to create this and create that. So whatever easy way you want, I mean, I'm here to do that. So please subscribe, share my videos, you know, and help me grow. And please, if you have a question, you know, if you didn't understand or you have any question, just leave it for me in the comment section down below. And whenever I come online, if I'm not there, I'm always ready to, you know, answer your questions as well and clarify what you don't understand. As usual, my name is Nita, your physical and online instructor, and I'll be seeing you in the next class. Bye.